All right, let's talk ecosystems. If you're prepping for the NEET exam, this is your high-speed revision to really lock in those core concepts.
Okay, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll hit what it is, its structure, how it works, the different types, and we'll wrap up with why you should care. Simple as that. Let's jump in.
All right, first things first. What even is an ecosystem?
Okay, so the big takeaway here is that an ecosystem is way more than just a bunch of animals and plants. It's the whole shebang. The living things, that's your biotic components, and the non-living environment, the abiotic stuff. And they're all tangled up in this constant dance of energy and nutrients.
And get this, ecosystems come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, literally, you could be looking at a tiny puddle, or you could zoom all the way out to a massive rainforest. Heck, you could even say the entire planet Earth is one giant single ecosystem.
So now that we know what they are, let's look at how they're built. The cool thing is, whether it's a tiny pond or the whole ocean, the basic blueprint is always the same.
It really just boils down to two main components. You've got your biotic parts, that's everything living or that was living, and then you have the abiotic parts, all the non-living physical and chemical stuff. It's the interaction between these two that makes the magic happen.
So think of the abiotic factors as the stage where the play of life happens. We're talking about sunlight, the ultimate energy source, water, temperature, the very soil and minerals underfoot, all of it. These things basically set the rules for who can live where.
And on the biotic side, the living actors on that stage, everyone has a job. First, you've got the producers, usually plants, making their own food. Then you've got the consumers who get their energy by eating others. And last but not least, you have the cleanup crew, the decomposers. They break down all the dead stuff, recycling the nutrients. Absolutely every single one of these roles is crucial.
Okay, we've got the players and the stage. Now, how does the show actually run? It really boils down to two key processes: energy flow and decomposition.
Let's start with energy flow. Now listen up, because this is a huge point for your exam. Energy is a one-way street. It flows through an ecosystem, it doesn't circle back. It starts at the sun, goes to the producers, then the consumers, and a little bit is lost as heat at every step. It never gets recycled. Remember that.
So, let's picture a super simple food chain. It all kicks off with a producer, right? Let's say grass. The grass just soaks up that sunlight through photosynthesis. That's ground zero, the very first trophic level.
Okay, so that energy is now stored in the grass. Along comes a goat, a primary consumer, and munches on it. Boom, the energy is transferred. Then maybe a person comes along and eats the goat. That makes them a secondary consumer. The energy moves up the chain one more time. See how that works?
But, and this is a big but, the whole process is super inefficient. Here's a number you absolutely have to know: 10%. Only about 10% of the energy from one level actually gets stored in the next. The other 90%, poof, gone. Mostly lost as heat. This 10% rule is the whole reason you don't see food chains with like 15 levels.
Okay, so if energy is a one-way street, decomposition is the ultimate recycling program. This is the second key function. It's a whole process, starting with critters like earthworms breaking stuff down and ending with bacteria and fungi releasing those raw inorganic nutrients back into the soil. It's brilliant, really. Without decomposers, life would literally grind to a halt.
Right? So obviously there are tons of different ecosystems out there, but we can lump them into two big categories to make things easier.
It's pretty straightforward, really. You've got your terrestrial ecosystems, everything on land, like forests, grasslands, and deserts. And then you've got your aquatic ecosystems, everything in water. And even that we can split into freshwater, like rivers and ponds, and marine, which is your big oceans and seas.
Okay, so why does any of this matter for you, or for the NEET exam? The bottom line is this: healthy ecosystems provide stuff we literally cannot live without. And these benefits have a name: ecosystem services.
And we can break these services down into four major groups: provisioning, regulating, supporting, and cultural. Think of these as the four pillars that hold up human civilization.
So what are we talking about here? Provisioning is the actual stuff we get, like food and fresh water. Regulating services are things like climate control, forests sucking up carbon dioxide. Supporting services are the behind-the-scenes workhorses, like pollination. And cultural services, well, that's the value we get from just being in nature. It's the whole package.
The Millennium Ecosystem Assessment put it perfectly.
Natural systems are humanity's life support system, providing essential ecosystem services. It's not a metaphor, it's the literal truth.
And that brings me to a final thought, something for you to really chew on as a future medical professional. This isn't just textbook biology. I'll leave you with this question. As these vital ecosystems get weaker, what new, very real challenges are you going to face in the clinic? We're talking new diseases, worsening air quality, malnutrition. The health of our planet and the health of your future patients are one and the same. It's something you'll have to grapple with your entire career.